Uh, Before I start, I want to say we have one of our mentors and close friends is under the weather, so you want to keep Mr. Johnny B. Scott in your prayers, please. We would appreciate that. So he won't be on with us today, and just want to ask everybody to keep him in your prayers. So lesson one is where we are starting off from the very beginning of this course. It's a 10-week course where we try to keep it with 10 weeks. Sometimes we go 11, depending on how things go. But it's primarily supposed to be a 10-week course. But lesson one is the one that we consider the foundation of the course, where we lay out rules that we need to follow. We need to learn and understand. And very important, the rules that we follow, because the foundation of the course, everything kind of leads right back to the rules. Okay. All these lessons that you will get all the way to the end, they are all leading you right back to the rules. If you keep these rules and follow the rules, you can be successful at this, okay? Um, it doesn't matter where you at in your journey. If you're just starting, you have no clue about trading, then this is where you should be at. If you have some experience and you just want to learn a, a, a better way or a different way, this is where you should be. So this is for everyone, okay? Most important thing we want you to understand is that we want to keep it simple, and we do our best to try to keep it simple. And we the way that we work with this is we go through the call, we go through the lesson, and then at the end we open up the call for Q&A and questions. So if you do have questions, try to write them down or hold your question to the end, because we will have a Q&A session at the end. So normally when we get started, I go over to Barbara Warren because she keeps us in order to make sure we do some very important business. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, Barbara.
Yes, sir. Here's our disclaimer for Futures Commodities Trading Group. Trading and investing carries a high level of risk. You could lose some or all of your investment. Trading commodities or any other financial instrument may not be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. We accept no liability for any losses or damages you may incur. This means that you alone are responsible for your actions in any trading or investing activities. Back to you, Delvin. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And then after Barbara finishes that very important business that she just took care of, we always go to Dr. Melba. We go to Dr. Melba because we have some quizzes throughout the week based on the lesson that we went over. Then we will have a couple quizzes we like to cover. And Dr. Melba always does a fabulous job of going over our quizzes. So even though the lesson just ended for some, we ended that 10-week lesson, and then we had a couple quiz questions. And I'm gonna call on Dr. Melba to see if she can cover that for us. Are you there, Dr. Melba?
Yes, I am, sir. Yes, I am. So our first quiz is, as speculators in the market, we are considered the most important because of what? A, we trade less. B, experience. C, we bring liquidity to the market. D, all of the above. E, none of the above. The question again is, as speculators in the market, we are considered the most important because of what? And I'm seeing people write in the chat C, which is we bring liquidity to the marketplace. And that was Monique and Ezra. Anybody think differently than Monique and Ezra? Lorenzo thinks C also. All right. Francisca says all of the above. Okay. So I think all of the C's have it. We bring liquidity to the marketplace.
Yes.
All right. So Francesca, as the lessons continue week after week, you will come to the same conclusion. But nice try. Thanks for being a part. Okay, next question. If you're looking for details about a futures contract regarding a particular commodity trading in the futures market, you would look for A, the news, B, reports, C, contract specifications, D, videos, E, not sure. Question again, if you're looking for details about a futures contract regarding a particular commodity trading in the futures market, you would look for, and I saw an answer come in. And Ezra says contract specifications. Lorenzo says contract specifications also. Okay, anybody think differently? All right, looks like contract specification is the winner. So contract specifications it is. Very good. Excellent.
Great way
Back
to
to
wrap
you,
up.
Delvin.
No, that's a good way to wrap it up and end that round of 10 lessons by answering those 2 quizzes. So thank you. Let's get into the lesson. So lesson 1, we talked about 3 minutes ago that's about our rules. We covered some rules, and we have to have these rules if we want to be successful when it comes to trading, in my opinion. Rules is what helped turn things around for me. I was trading with no rules in the beginning, right? And I think this is the most important thing. And that's why we like to start out with the rules to set our foundation. We don't have a solid foundation. Everything else is going to be shaky and rocky, right? So let's jump into the rules that we have, and keep notes, take notes, or take screenshots, whatever you prefer. But you want to have these rules because, like I said, everything goes back to the rules. Okay, so lesson, but rule number 1: know why you are trading. If you ever heard, know your why. When it comes to trading, it's very, very important. You want to know why you're doing this. What's your reason? It, it's not just for your motivation, but trading is not going to always be fun. It's going to be fun sometime, and then you're going to have some days where, you know, trading is kicking you in the you know what, and you want to remember why you're doing it. And also it's important to know why you're doing it because sometimes, depending on what your why is and how big it is, that's also going to determine if you're going to stick with this. Um I'm not going to say what I wanted to say, but I want you to know this. I've always been able to tell by a person's why. I can tell, you know, pretty much if it's something that you're going to do. And when it comes to the trade, my why changed a few times, but it was it was never really for money. Okay, it was I got this thing. I like learning new things. I love challenges. So if you're a type of person that you just like to learn new things, you like learning, uh, being challenged, taking on something new, then you know, strap on your seatbelt. But most important thing about that is you want to have a big why, an important why. when it comes to trading. Okay. Number 2, risk management. Now, this is a very big one, and probably one we ought to have toward the end of the lessons. But when it comes to risk management, several of the rules are part of risk management. A lot of the rules we're going to go over are part of risk management. This is something that's so big, I don't even want to. I want to make sure you understand it, but I don't want it to be something that put fear in you. But this is the number one reason most traders lose money when it comes to trading. If you want to know why most people lose money when it comes to trading, here it is. No proper risk management. And guess what? I was part of that. I had no proper risk management at all when I first started learning how to do this. And that's why I couldn't get anywhere. I had winning trades, but I also had a lot of losing trades. And I was risking way more than I should on each trade. And we'll get into that a little bit here in the near future. But I want you to know that this is the number one reason most traders lose money. And as we go through the rules, we'll get into explaining more about what is proper risk management. All right. Here's another one that's really big. And again, probably should be at the end of our rules. So we got some big ones, and then we got some ones that are real big. This is a real big one. And if you don't know what a stop loss is, not to worry, you will learn. But a stop loss is something that we can use to limit our risk when we get in the market. And we also can use it to lock in and protect our profits when we get in the market. But using a stop loss is mandatory. And that's why it says always use a stop loss. There is no time that we're in the market trading and we're not using a stop loss. I can attest to the damage that can be done because I've been in the market before trading without a stop loss and I paid the price for it. We always use a stop loss. Okay. Trade in both directions is number 4. Now, this is where it's going to take some mind shift. You're going to have to shift the way you've been taught or programmed to think that we can trade the market up, and that's the way that we can make a profit in the market. That's the only way. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true. We can also make money when the market's going down. So if you've been
And she was then supported by Candace Andrews Brumont of BP Renegade. At the time, she was the
if we
education
can
officer
please
for
mute out,
Jamaica.
I would appreciate it. All right, thank you. So here's what I mean. It doesn't matter if the market's going up or down. We can trade the market in both directions. So prices could be going down and we can still make money when it's going down. You're going to learn how to do that. If that's foreign, something you never heard of, or just doesn't make sense just hearing me say that, don't panic. We're going to teach you and show you how to learn how to make money trading the market in both directions. It just gives you more trading opportunities to take advantage of. Okay. Number 5, limit your risk to a minimum when you're trading. So you know why? We want to limit our risk when we get into the market. How many times have you heard that you can lose everything? Oh, you don't want to do that, man. You can lose all your money. You can lose your house. Somebody somewhere alone lost their house at some point, I guess. And everybody heard about that, and everybody thinks that you can lose your money, your house, I mean. And here's what you need to know. Just like I talked about that stop loss, that stop loss that we can always use when we trading, we can determine how much we want to risk on the trade. So when we get into the market and we decide we want to risk X amount of dollars, that's the most we can lose if the market goes against us, okay? And that's why we said always use that stop loss, but limit your risk to a minimum. And that allows you to be able to trade and get into more future trades when we get into the market. We don't want to do something that I did a long time ago where I had my whole account risk on one trade, the whole entire 100% of the account. So that's something we want to make sure we keep in mind. It's important to know that when we limit our risk, that's part of that other rule we talked about, risk management. Remember I said a lot of these rules are gonna go back to that rule of risk management. All right. So another big rule, important rule. All right. All right. Another rule that's pertaining to risk management again, okay? Limit the number of trades you have. So depending on your account size, we can have on more than one trade at one time. And we can have on multiple trades at one time. But this could also go against us in a big way if we're not managing our account right, basically taking on too much for our account size. And let's say one or two of those trades going against us at the same time, we can get ourselves into a situation that could be something that's not good. So we want to limit the number of trades. We want to know basically how to manage our account to a point where we're not taking on more positions than we should. And we're going to teach you to make sure you understand the proper way of doing that. All right. Number 7, being willing to cut your losses. Traders live to trade another day because no trader is going to win every trade. No matter what they tell you, what you may heard, there is nobody trading that hasn't had a bad trade, or they're just not being real transparent with you. Okay, I don't care how good you are, the best of the best gonna have some bad trades. That's just how the market is, and you got to be willing to cut your losses. That's why, again, going back to that stop loss, that's why it's so important. When you get into the market with the intent to make a profit, right? So it's not going to always be that we make a profit. But if we limit our losses, then we can get into the market in another trade that may be profitable. And then a lot of times we can make up the loss from that other trade in the next trade that you do end up being profitable in. But make sure you're willing to cut your losses. You know, another example of this, not doing this and not trading the right way. You know, back at my beginning of my career, I wasn't willing to cut my losses a lot of times. And even when I was using the stop loss that we've been talking about, because I didn't want to get what we call stop out of the market, I was moving it and moving it because I wasn't willing to cut my losses. And I just kept losing more money because I was basically gambling at that point. I wasn't trading. And it's a skill set to this, and that's what we're going to teach you here, that there's an actual skill set to trading. And when we learn the skill set, we can change the dynamics of our trading. All right. Number 8, know when to take profits. Hmm. Wish someone had told me that. That's why I love what we do, because we get a chance to help people not make the same mistakes. Knowing when to take profits is such a huge thing. I think me and some of my buddies, when we first started out trading, we came to find out this was the hardest thing when it came to trading. We kept trying to figure out what was the hardest thing about trading. And to us, this was the hardest thing, knowing when to take profits. You know, I wouldn't say that greed was a motivator, but you get into the market and you get the ego that, oh, you're gonna keep making money. Oh, it's gonna keep on going in your favor. And you don't want to get out of the market. You don't want to do what's best and take some profits. So you just keep on, and then you get bit. I got a horrific story that I'll share at a later date that refers to this right here. Know when to take profits, and I can tell you I didn't know when to take profits, and if I did, I didn't want to. So this is a very important rule, and if you can practice this rule, it'll it'll really help you along your trading journey. This is the one that you want to learn and you want to practice it. Okay. Controlling your emotions, number 9, is something that you're going to hear throughout all the lessons that we're going to go over. As we go through the lessons, you're going to keep hearing us going back talking about trading being so emotional. And you want to learn how to control your emotions when it comes to trading. This is a very important rule, because no matter which side you're on, whether you're making money and you got profits, or you're losing money and the market's trading against you, either way, your emotions kick in and you get real emotional. And when you trade with your emotions, you make irrational decisions. And you're just not thinking straight. And you don't want to be in the market trading with your emotions, because most of the time it end up biting you. You don't come out good. So trading is so emotional that even to the point where I've had to call some of my friends just to keep me intact, help me get my emotions under control. So I don't want you to think, like, when I go over these rules, that it don't apply to me too. I still have trouble and challenges sometimes when it comes to this today. I still go through times where I start struggling with controlling my emotions when it comes to trading. It's just that emotional. You get into the market and get into a trade and trade going your way, and you your emotions kick in and you're excited. And, you know, you when you get into a trade, let me say it this way. One thing I'm gonna tell you, and you remember this day when you actually start trading. When you get into the market in the very beginning and start trading for the first time, all these rules that we going over and talking about, they go right out the window. As soon as your order get filled and you get in the market, trust me, your emotions they're gonna take right over. But you want to have these rules to come back to and get yourself back under control. And that's the reason that we go over these rules, that they are that important. But just a big one. So keep this one in mind. You're gonna hear it over and over and over again. Number 10. I always like to let Johnny B cover this one, but don't be a thrill seeker, because I like to let Johnny cover this one because I've been a thrill seeker so much. What do I mean by that? Being a thrill seeker, every trade we take on, we want it to be good. We want it to be a winner trade. But sometimes we take on trade, we want this trade to be the big one. We want this trade to be a home run. We want this to be the out of the park home run. And if you get into the market and trade this way with this type of mentality, I'm telling you right now, the market's going to send you home. You're going to go home. It's just not going to be good. Don't be a thrill seeker. Every trade won't be a home run. There's nothing wrong with hitting a single. There's nothing wrong with hitting a double or a triple. There's nothing wrong with walking on base. We don't have to have a home run every time we come up the bat. So just know if you're gonna get in the market with that mentality, if I can't promise you anything, I promise you that market will send you back home. Right? Now when you get to this rule, I like to turn it over to Barbara Warren and let Barbara Warren cover this one because Barbara, talk to us about number 11.
Ooh, number 11 is an important one. If you're not humble, the market will humble you because the only expert is the market. Sometimes we can get, like think we know the market, we know everything, but you don't know more than the market know itself. But I guarantee you, if you're not humble, like he just said, it'll send you home. It'll send you home packing if you're not.
Yeah. We have to keep that in mind. It's something that we can forget. And everybody has their own opinion. Like you heard Barbara say it, I've said it for years. I remember a long time ago I used to watch the CNBC channel, business channel. And I used to watch the um the Bloomberg network channel. My first broker ended up getting a job on Bloomberg. And I used to watch that channel in the morning. I, see- I watched it for her, and then I also watched it just trying to see what they were talking about. And I thought it was funny that here it is, every hour they had another expert that was going to be joining them when we come back from the break. We have another expert that's going to be joining us, um, and that they paraded with that all morning, all day long. They got all these experts coming on, and I came to the conclusion a long time ago that I don't think very few people understand what a true expert is. And it seems to me all you have to do is know more about a subject than someone else, and they'll consider you an expert. As long as you know more than they know, then you're an expert. But I don't think that qualifies you to be an expert just because you know more, than someone else. We really don't understand that word, and that's why it's thrown around and used so loosely. But when it comes to trading, you want to know who the expert is. Just get in the market and start trading, and you'll find out the market itself. All right. Thank you, Barbara. 12. Be patient. Dr. Mel, are you okay with covering number 12? I think this
Oh,
is a good
yes,
one.
I am.
Come on.
Yes, number 12, one of my favorites. Be patient. We want the market to come to us. One of the things you'll learn on this online course is we teach certain strategies and certain technologies. And once you put your strategy in place, you're going to wait for the market to come to you for whatever strategy you put in place. We don't get anxious. We don't get fearful. We don't It's jump before it's time. We don't move our plan around. You study, you put your strategy in place, and you wait patiently for the market to come to us.
Yes. Thank you. So important, guys. Thank you, Dr. Mel. Number 13, trade different markets. What do we mean by this? We get into the most important market on the planet where commodities trade. And whether you know it or not, you've been participating in this market your whole life. You just was on the other side, on the retail side. But everyone on this call has went in the store and found something that they that they need or use and found it on sale. And what do? You take advantage of the sale. You buy it low. And you just wasn't participating from the market side. But you've been buying things when you found it on sale, buying it low. You've been doing that your whole life. You just didn't, you didn't buy it with the intent to sell it later, but you bought it with the intent to get it cheaper than the normal price that it normally sells for. And it's so similar to the same thing that we do here. And when we talk about trading different market in the futures market, we have what's called groupings. We have different markets to trade. So we have the grains. In the grains, that's where corn and wheat and soybean, oats trade. Then we have what's called the livestock sector. And that's where the cattle and the hogs and even your milk, your poultry and stuff trades inside of the livestock. And then there's the metals. Some call it the precious metals, but inside of the metals is where gold, silver, copper, and platinum, palladium, all these things trade at. And then there's the energies. You have crude oil, and natural gas, and currencies, so on. It's several different groupings where we have different markets to take advantage of. So the point is, you don't just have to trade the grains and just be a grain trader. Is it my favorite grouping? You'll find out it is. But I also am open to trading other markets. So I will trade in the metals. I also will trade in the energy. So I have more opportunities to take advantage of when I open up to being willing to trade in certain markets. Not saying that if you just want to be a grain trader and that's what you want to do, you can. We just want you to know that you just open up to more options when you open yourself for trading other markets, okay? Number 14. Dr. Mel, again, this is something that I think you should cover if you don't mind. I want to come back to you on this one if I can.
You sure can, sir. Number 14, have a system, always believe in your system and follow it. So one of the things that you'll learn in this class is we have systems that we have used over and over, and they're reproducible systems. But as you learn these systems and put them in place and start using them to trade, you don't have a real strong belief in the system because you've never used it before. And so you're not as familiar with it. But after you use the system and the strategies over and over and over, and you notice you're getting the same result over and over and over, you'll realize that your believing in the system increases, and therefore you'll be able to minimize your risk and start to profit more. But first, you have to have a system. You have to use the system consistently. You can't be all over the place, tweaking it and doing what you want to do. You can if you want to, but you may not get the results that you would prefer. So I'm just saying to you, there are systems in place in this course that you will learn, and try your best to use the systems that we're teaching, put it in place, follow it over and over and over, so that your belief in the system will increase and that you will have a more prosperous trading career.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Mel. Number 15. I, I would take this one, but it's so big. I'm gonna go to Barbara and see if she want to take this one because this this one that she's passionate about.
Number 15, treat trading like a business. It is not something that you should consider doing. It's something that you need to do. Because if it's not a business, then you have a hobby. That's exactly what you have. And you have to consider all that it takes to run a business. Even when we do something called paper trading, where you learn this business without spending your real money, you even treat that like a business because it gives you that mindset that when you really enter into the market with real money, you have the mindset to build. And so anything that you're going to invest your time in, you're looking to profit from, you treat it like a business.
Thank you, Barbara. Very important. If if you treat it any other way, you know, you 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 could set yourself up to fail. And it truly is a business, like Barbara said. It's a business that we consider to be the best one on the planet. And trust me, in the beginning, Barbara, when I got started, I thought I was treating this like a business. You know, and I was doing nothing even remotely close to treating it like a business. And that's why I wasn't getting anywhere, progressing anywhere because I wasn't treating this like a business. And that was very, very important in my shift when I started to learn how to treat this more like a business than a hobby. And that's a big rule right there. You're gonna hear that a lot more too throughout these lessons. Okay. Thank you, Barbara. Number 16, follow your plan. You heard Dr. Melvin talking about, sticking to the plan. We always want to have a plan when we get in the market. We don't just jump in the market because we heard Tony talking about it at the barbershop. And he talking about this gonna go up and this gonna do this, and we want to get in the market. We don't have no reason, no plan why we getting in, what we gonna do when we get in the market. Just because Tony told us that it's going up, when we get in the market, what's our plan? How you gonna trade it? What you trying to trade it? What price are you looking to see the market go to? How much you gonna risk on this trade when you get in it? When do you know the entry? What's your entry gonna be? At what price? Where do you enter the market? What's gonna be that indicator that's gonna tell you that? We want to have a plan that we gonna follow, but most important, we want to have a plan and stick to the plan. A lot of times we'll have a plan and then we deviate off course and don't stick to the plan. And that's what Dr. Melville was just referring to. But when you stick to the plan, that's when you are doing like that rule she covered. That's when you get better at trusting the system, following the system. And Dr. Melville made a point that in the beginning you're not gonna have the trust and belief in the system because you've never done it before. But over time, that would start to change when you start to see that consistency of what we do happens over and over and over again, and you can trust and believe in the system. And your trust may not be what mine is, or Dr. Melville is, or Barbara is right, or Johnny B is right now. but it will get better or stronger over time. As we get into things that we're gonna learn through the course, you will see certain things happen over and over and over again. And you'll get to a point where you start to trust the system because you see it over and over and over again. And this system is not something that's brand new. Okay, this system was the same system my mentor followed and taught. And his mentor did the same thing. So we put our stamp on it and we tweaked it to to fit the way that we trade, but it's still the same system. And follow the plan. And if you don't follow the plan, just like we talked about with all those other rules, it can bite you. So that's another big rule. Follow the plan. 17, kind of a little bit back referring to risk management. Know your position in the market. When we get in the market, we want to know our position. I got a horrific story where I got in the trade thinking I'm trading it one way, and I was in the market trading another way. We want to know our position, meaning when we get into a trade and our orders fill, we want to know what our position is. Are you trading the market to the upside, which will be called long the market? If you get filled on an order that's trading the market up, that will be considered you are long the market. Okay. And then at the same time, if you were to get into a trade and you trade the market down, that meaning that you're trying to make profit as the market is coming down. And that's considered to be short the market. Long the market, trading it up, short the market, trading it down. But there's also a third position that we can have when it comes to trade. And that can be what's called out of the market. And sometimes out of the market is a good place to be. There's been times
How
where
much
you may go
is the
and
bill
you're
for the
looking at the
internet?
market. Please mute out for me. Thank you. Yeah, there's times where we can actually find ourselves looking at the market, looking at trades, looking at charts, and we don't see the trade that we want to be in at this time. And it's okay to be out of the market because remember the rule that Dr. Melville covered about being patient. We're waiting for certain things to form and take place. And while that's happening, sometimes we may be on the sideline watching. And you'll see sometime where I may say, keep watching. And out of the market is a position that we can hold to. All right. 18, use your charts. Use your charts. Now, we're going to get into understanding charts and learning charts, and everybody's going to be at a different place. If you never learn how to read a chart or you don't know anything about reading a chart, don't feel overwhelmed about that because we were all in that place at some point. And we're going to teach you how to read the charts and read them like it's the back of your hand. And one thing I want you to know about charts is that charts speak to you. They tell a story. There's a story going on every chart that you look at. And you just got to learn how to read it so you can understand the story. And once you learn how to read the chart, you know exactly what's going on with that particular commodity. But we're going to teach you how to read the chart. So if it's something that you never knew how to do or even been intimidated by, don't be, because we're gonna help you get to a point where you can read the charts. All right, that's important because that's what we do. Our system is based on using the charts, and we make all our decisions. I make all my trading decisions from the chart. I run that business that we got through talking about from the charts. So all my decisions are coming from that. So that's why you want to learn how to read them. It's that important. All right. Where Johnny be at? 19 of the trend. The trend. We want to talk about the trend. And you may have heard this word before. And if you don't know what it means, that's okay. That's basically referring to the direction that the market is trading in. And the market trades in trends. And we're going to get into talking about that and how that works. But you want to know that it trades in trends, and you always want to be on the right side of the trend because the trend is your friend. And one thing I like to point out that if you are on the right side and trading with the right side of the trend, not trading against the market, if you're trading with the trend, in most cases, you should be making a profit. Not in all cases, but in most cases, if you're trading with the trend, you should be profitable. Okay? But just know trading against the trend can get you in a lot of trouble. You don't want to trade against the market. And if the trend is your friend, then you want to be on the right side of that trend. We're going to talk about trends and go over that in full detail. All right. Number 20. And this is our most important and our final rule that we're going to go over. And we feel it's so important that we consider this to be the golden rule, okay? And that's never risk more than 10% of your portfolio on any one trade. Never. Remember how I said so many of these rules are going to refer back to risk management? Well, this is what we're talking about. We don't want to have more than 10% risk on a particular trade. You remember how I said there was a particular time I had 100% of my account risk on a trade? I wanted to win on that trade that bad that I had the whole account at risk. So if I had $5,000 in that account, I was risking the whole 5,000 on that one trade, which is ludicrous. You know how undisciplined and not treating it like a business I was. When I look back at that, it's just mind blowing that I actually thought I knew what I was doing. But to risk more than 10%, is that's not a good idea. Do you have to risk 10%? You can risk less than that. But we just try to encourage people not to risk more than 10%. So we want to be able to make more than one trade. And we don't want to have one trade take us out of the whole entire market. And now we got to fund our account again with more money because we don't get lost everything on one trade. And as Johnny say, we want to live the trade another day. So the golden rule, once again, is to never risk more than 10% of your account. Never do it on one particular trade. So that was our final rule. And again, our golden rule. And Barbara or Dr. Mary, anything y'all want to add before we end the rules? Did I miss anything or anything you want to say to everyone? Are we good?
No, I think we did an excellent job. You did a
Yeah,
good job.
great. But I hope everybody.
I'll tell Mr. Johnny you did an excellent job.
Thank you. Well, we normally let Johnny B cover most of this, y'all. And yeah, it's so important to go over these rules. I love when we have this lesson one because we got these rules that we have to follow, and then sometimes we break them, and we deem Barbara Warren the queen of the rules. Because if you jump out of line and start breaking the rules, she's gonna let you know you're breaking the rule, right? And so don't break these rules, everybody. Um, but yeah, now I wanna shift for a second and talk about something that I'm so excited about. And I I'll let Barbara stop sharing for a minute so y'all can see us. I want to talk about something that's very important to and near and dear to me, Dr. Melvin and Barbara. For a while now, we've been working on something very special that very near and dear to us, and we excited to tell and share it with you all. That that this course that we teach and we share with everybody, we love so much, is being published. And the amazing part about it is nothing brings me more joy than to see this course being published in a manual and having the authors of the manual none other than Dr. Melba and Barbara. They work together and they are the actual authors of the manual. And it's man, I'm just overjoyed with the fact that this course is being published and put into a manual and having them be the authors of it. And this is something that we've been working on, for a while behind the scenes. And Barbara and Dr. Melvin, they're just as excited that I am. So I'm gonna be quiet, let them say a few words because I know how much this means to you guys too. So, how you feeling, Dr. Melvin?
Oh, elated. Elated. It was quite an adventure, and and I will let Barbara take the lead on how much of an adventure it was. But at the end of the day, all of your, well, we can't see all of your faces. Some of you have pictures up, but we had all of you in mind when we embarked upon it, and we're so glad that you came out tonight, so that when we announced it, everyone is on us. There's some new people on here, and then there are others that have met us before. And so it benefits all. And we're excited because one of the things we've learned in this journey with Delvin is everybody learns differently. And for some of you listening, auditory, you learn that way, and others you need to read in some type of a manual or book form to retain information and cement it. And others need both. And so we are giving you all the ability to have what it is that you need. And then others of you need us in person. And that's why we have the travel and trade retreat where you can come out in person, meet us in person, get hands-on help from us in person. So we're here, we're creating a learning platform and environment for everyone to learn best the way you learn. And so we're bringing diversity to the platform in our learning. And you all are welcome to journey with us. And hopefully it's a lifetime journey because trading, it's one of those things where trading in community is brings accountability. And so you're not off doing your own thing and getting yourself in trouble, but there are people that are rallying around you for your good success. And when you're doing things that are risky, we're bold enough to say, I don't think we learned that in class. Wouldn't do that if I were you, because that's not what we teach. And so we do create as much of a safe space as possible for all those that would like to journey with us and learn along with us. Barb?
Well, I'm excited to have been able to accomplish this. It's a real honor, and to be able to produce something that we know and believe is going to benefit the reader, whether you're the person that opens it for the first time and you've never heard of futures and commodities market, whether you're the person that has a familiarity, or you could be more advanced. Either way, it's a manual for anyone. And we wrote it and developed it in a way that no matter your age bracket, if you could be a teenager and read it and learn. You could be a middle age or older person. You still would get value and be able to learn, because it's built on a sure system. It's built on a foundation, and it's built off of 30 years of Delvin's experience, and all of the experience that he got from his mentor is all wrapped in that 30 years. And we've taken his story, what he has done through his life and mentoring, and we put it in the form of a manual. And so now you have what's considered to be your own personal blueprint. So it's one thing to get on the calls on Sundays and you can remember what you saw, or you can take screenshots, but it's something when you, on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, any day of the week, you can open up a book and go back and read it. That's a whole nother, a whole nother way to learn for anyone. And so that's what we want you to get out of it. We want to see people grow and see people's life be changed. And so that's why we did it. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm so honored to have you two be the authors. And I know, at least I think I know, you probably had no idea you would be an author and something, uh, and then here you are being the author of this course, this manual. And I think the most important thing I want people to know is that when it comes to this, the manual is like your trading Bible. This is how I want you to see this manual, almost like your trading Bible. Here it is. Like you said, it's been a long journey, and I still have the manual that I read when I sat down and took a course from my mentor. I still have that manual, but like Dr. Melvin shared earlier on a podcast, you can't even get that manual. Um, you can't buy it brand new anymore. Um, you have to get that from somebody who's selling it. And this is going to be something that's going to be something that can be real life changing for families, Barbara. Something that's going to be something that can change and be passed down from not just the person who bought it. It's something that they can learn and pass it down to their kids and their kids' kids. It's something that can change generations. And see, when it comes to trading in the futures market, we we get to participate in the most important market in the world. And I'm not downplaying or taking anything away from the other markets, but the most important market in the world is the futures market. This is where necessities trade at, guys. Things that we don't want, things that we need. As long as people wake up every morning and are alive and living on this earth, they're going to use commodities. There isn't a day in your life that you don't use these commodities that you're going to learn about in this manual. Today, you partake and use many commodities already, and understanding how you can participate from the market side is what this manual gives you. And like Barbara said, now you can sit down and pick this manual up whenever you want to pick it up. And we appreciate that you get on the calls. But you want to have this manual to take your learning to a better and higher level. So we wanted to bring that to y'all and share this. We've been sitting on this and holding it and biting our tongue, and talking about, man, we want to let everybody know. You know, we had to wait till we got to a certain point, and now we're at the point where it's getting ready to launch, and we wanted to share it with our community. So that was our big news we wanted to share on the call, and whew, I'm still coming down, guys. So thank y'all for doing this. I know it was a lot of work, hard work. Um, writing writing the course is probably a whole different experience from trading. You know, so what I really appreciate is that it was important to y'all to make sure that when you read this course, when you buy this course, although you know who the authors are, they wrote this course where it sounds just like it's me delivering the information to you. So it still has my personality and and my my spill on it, right, Barbara?
Yes, it's full of your personality.
Oh, but thank y'all. So that was what we wanted to share, and I want you to pull the slide back up and let's cover. Oh, hey, Zuli.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hi, Suli.
And
Hello, hello.
yeah, and I think I saw Jamal on the call. What's up, bro? All right, so
Hey, what's
we
up,
just
D?
finished. We just finished our last round. For people who went through the course already and finished up, wrapping up those 10 weeks, and there's a call that you can take advantage of, and you should take advantage of. That Dr. Melba and Barbara do twice a month. And this call is a different format. It's not like this call where you can get on here and get more in detail with your questions, and we don't have, I don't think they have a slide system going, and they they can help you on a deeper level than what you can get on Sundays. But when you finish the 10-week course, you want to take advantage of what these ladies are sharing and teaching on these calls. So when you see that get posted in the Telegram group, if you can, take advantage and get on that call. And anything you want to say, Dr. Mel, about the call? I know y'all cover different things, and it's not always that second and fourth Thursday, right?
Yes, it's right now it's second and fourth Thursdays, and then some months we'll do first and third for people who have prior commitments for every second and fourth. But for the most part, it's for those of us that have completed the 10-week course. And so we're saying, okay, what's next? And so we pretty much answer the questions on how to get you started, safely starting in this business of trading futures and commodities. And pretty much we answer your questions. And if we cannot, we know who to ask to get them answered. But for the most part, yeah, it's a very, very flexible class, and it's 1 hour long. And we keep it to the hour unless the students have so many questions, that they're asking, then it gets extended for a few minutes. But we pretty much stick to an hour, so to keep your time, within a certain time frame, and not to take advantage of each person's time. But yeah, it's so those of us that are on here that have completed the 10-week course, whenever we post it in the group chat, please take advantage of it and come out on a Thursday night online and ask your questions so that you can go to the next level and have a really fun trading career.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Melvin. And if you're not in that Telegram group that we're referring to, Dr. Barbara has posted the link at the beginning of the call. She put the link to our Telegram group in the chat right here on the Zoom. So if you go in the chat, you'll see the link to join the group. If you're not in it and we want to invite you to come be a part of the community, join that group, okay? Now, the other thing, and if you've been around, you've been hearing us talking about our excitement about this event. We have an annual event every year where we get together and like Dr. Melvin was pointing out, some people like to learn, and some people are better learners live in person. And Zoom is great. Getting on the call is great. Watching a recording, all these things are great. But some people do their best learning when it's live and in person. We've heard that many times at these retreats that we've already had. So many people said they had a light switch go off, or I've been hearing this and going over this and seeing this, but I got it when I came to the retreat. I get it now. And things kind of worked out better for them live and in person. But not only that, I always said that when it comes to events, what I love most is the events that happen after the event. When we get through with class and training and we get a chance to sit down and talk and bond and pick each other's brain, and that's the best part of it for me. But we want you to come out to this retreat. We're looking forward to a 3-4 day time together, and I definitely believe this is going to be the best one so far. And we got a lot of stuff that Dr. Melvin can tell you. When we came out to our last event, we had so many people at the event that walked away from that event with new life relationships, new life bonding that took place. People came out to that event and left there. I was amazed at the relationship and the bonding that was taking place at the event. And another thing about it too is that when it comes to a live event, when we get into a live event, we get a chance to get questions answered and things cleared up that we may not never get to on the call, or we may not get around to asking on the call. Well, now we can do it when we got time to sit down and have some personal one-on-one time. Okay. So I think we still have room for people, but we only have limited seats because the hotel is sticking to the fire marshal's rules. Once the number of tickets are sold, we have to make it sold out and stick to that. So I'm sure Barbara will repost the link to join and to register for this event in our group again. But take advantage of it. We want to see you all at this event because, hey, you want to be there. There's going to be a celebration at this event. You just heard what we just announced, right? So make sure you be at this event, okay? Now, we went over some rules today and we talked about some very important things. And anything we covered tonight that you want to talk about, you got a comment or a question, we're going to open it up for questions and comments.